Okay, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're looking at something deeply relatable, kind of frustrating, and honestly just incredibly thought-provoking. We're going to dive into this fascinating piece of Moroccan cultural wisdom about who really reaps the rewards of hard work. We are unpacking a dynamic that literally crosses borders, languages, and generations, and we're going to break it down piece by piece. So be honest with yourself for a second. Have you ever worked incredibly hard, just pouring your absolute heart, sweat, and soul into a project, only for someone else to effortlessly swoop in and take all the credit? It's a completely unfair dynamic, isn't it? I mean, we've all been there, feeling that sheer exhausting in our bones while someone else basically takes the victory lap. Well, it turns out human beings have been grappling with this exact feeling of injustice for a very long time, and different cultures have developed their own unique ways of perfectly articulating it. Section 1. The Moroccan Proverb. Here is our primary source material, a classic Moroccan proverb in its original, beautiful Arabic text. Take a moment to anchor yourself in the culture and just appreciate the structure of that proverb. Even before we unpack the exact meaning behind these words, you can almost feel the poetic weight of the language. It's this culturally rich statement, passed down through generations to explain a very specific and highly frustrating social reality. Section 2, the literal translation. Getting to the root of the original language is where the true flavor of the proverb really comes alive. The stark literal translation is, "Work, you wretched one, to please the napper." Just let that sink in for a second. It is incredibly vivid, isn't it? It uses this almost harsh, striking imagery to describe the two very distinct types of people in this scenario. You aren't just a worker, you are wretched. And the person benefiting isn't just a boss or a bystander, they're a napper. It paints a very distinct, almost cinematic picture of unequal labor. Let's break down these two archetypes, starting with the first one, the wretched one. Our source defines this as the unlucky person who often works very hard. Notice that word, unlucky. This brings absolute focus to the grueling reality and sheer effort of the laborer. It really implies that their hard work isn't necessarily a choice born out of ambition, but rather a hand they've been dealt. They're trapped in this cycle of sheer exhausting effort, just pushing the boulder up the hill day after day. And then, in direct contrast to that, we have our second archetype, the napper. The source defines this as the lazy person who reaps the benefits. Think about the physical posture of someone taking a nap. They're relaxed, asleep, completely disengaged from the struggle. So, while the wretched one is covered in sweat, the napper is comfortably resting, yet somehow they're the ones who ultimately profit off the wretched one's labor. It's the ultimate contrast, really, between intense struggle and completely effortless reward. Section 3. The English equivalent. Now, human nature is amazingly consistent worldwide, which means different cultures often arrive at the exact same conclusion, just using their own unique metaphors. On one side, we have our Moroccan proverb, "Work, you wretched one, to please the napper." On the other, we have a very famous Western equivalent, "The early bird gets the worm, but the second mouse gets the cheese." This brilliantly illustrates our cross-cultural bridge. It perfectly juxtaposes the hard-working wretched one with the ambitious early bird who rushes out into the danger of the morning. And on the flip side, we have the lazy napper matching up with the second mouse. That mouse just waits, avoids the trap entirely, and effortlessly gets a free lunch. The animals change, for sure, but the core dynamic of exploited effort remains exactly the same. Section 4. The unfairness of life. Let's transition away from the language comparison for a second to focus on the heavy, relatable philosophy hidden within these proverbs. Here is the bold, unvarnished truth delivered as plainly as possible. Life is sometimes unfair. It's a tough pill to swallow, right? We all want to believe in a perfectly just world where input always equals output, where the hardest workers automatically win the biggest prizes. But both the Moroccan wisdom and the English equivalent exist to confirm a harsh reality. Life does not always reward those who put in the most effort. Sometimes, the mechanics of the world just favor the napper. Section 5. The universal truth. So what is the absolutely crucial point we must take away from this explainer? Let's summarize the core teachings we can draw directly from these sources. 1. Life is sometimes unfair. 2. The unlucky often work hard. And 3. The lazy reap the benefits. It doesn't matter if you're looking through the lens of North African proverbs or Western idioms. The underlying observation of human society remains incredibly consistent. Both cultures profoundly recognize that the unlucky toil while the lazy prosper. It's a wake-up call to be deeply aware of the situations we put ourselves in and to understand the unspoken rules of the environments where we are working. Which brings us to our final thought. I want to leave you with this deeply provocative question to reflect on. In your own life right now, are you the early bird or the wretched one, doing all the grueling work? Or are you the second mouse, the napper, waiting patiently to just grab the cheese? Understanding which role you're currently playing might just change how you approach your very next task. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep asking questions, and I'll see you next time.